Hi, it's Loren Lockman from the Tanglewood Wellness Center in Costa Rica. I've been asked this morning to address a question about gut issues, inflammation, leaky gut, things like this. There are conditions where people have a hard time getting what they need and may not have the proper balance of gut flora. And the question is, how do we correct that? How do we create a healthy environment in the gut? Well, there's good news and bad news. The good news is, let's start with the bad news. The bad news is that it's very difficult for us to consciously create a healthy gut environment, to create the proper combination of gut flora. It's very, very difficult for us to do. That's the bad news. The good news is we don't have to do it, okay? Because all we really need to do is give the body a chance to cleanse and heal, and then eat properly. And it almost always takes care of itself, virtually every time. So over the years, I mean, let's see a show of hands here. How many of you came in with some kind of digestive difficulty? Any kind of digestive difficulty? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so about half of you came in here with some kind of digestive difficulty. Okay, it's really common. Okay, this is a really common thing. I'm surprised it's actually not a little bit higher than that, but because it often would be. A lot of people are dealing with these issues, and almost everybody, when they're done here, has no trouble thriving on a diet of fruit and salad. They have no trouble at all. Okay? The issues tend to take care of themselves, and if we look at the gut flora themselves, it's very different to kill them off completely. I'm not saying it's impossible. Maybe it can be done. If you've been, but even those people who did many years on things like Accutane, okay, nasty drug. I did a video about that recently. Even people who have spent many, many years, as I did, on one course after the other of broad spectrum antibiotics because of a recurring infection, in my case, a sinus infection. Even in my case, in the case of all these other people with similar stories, by the time we completed a longish fast, our guts were working perfectly well, because even if there's only a few remaining bacteria that belong in the body there, they live on dead and dying tissue. There's plenty of that. There's no shortage of that. And so they're going to continue to flourish, to repopulate. In the meantime, all the negative stuff, all the stuff that doesn't belong there, including the yeast, the candida, that maybe could be there naturally, but tiny amounts of it not taking over the system, all that stuff that's been dominating the digestive tract winds up starving or being eliminated as we cleanse the body. And so we recreate a healthy balance as a result of fasting and have no trouble afterward. Okay, so I'm often asked, well, don't we need to consume probiotics? Shouldn't we be eating fermented foods, things like that? I don't think there's any need for those things. Okay, we simply get the body clean, eat the perfect diet our bodies were designed for, and the rest will take care of itself. It's hard for many people to believe, but I've seen it over and over again. Any questions about that? Anybody? Anybody have an experience with this they want to share? Yeah, Chance?
When I got off the medication I was taking, I started having elimination and digestive issues majorly.
Uh-huh.
And I've had it kind of before, but never to that degree. And I had a feeling as though something was blocked, and it was causing pressure, and it was just causing me to feel I was just sick. I was sickly looking. I think a lot of it had to do with being highly inflamed.
Yeah.
And the fact that I'm one of the minority of people that should not be taking what I took. I also have a theory that inflammation, for those who are predisposed to it, will have certain genes that have it big time, whatever you want to call it, hinders hormone production. And so I believe that I am highly, and was, and probably still am highly inflamed. And it'll probably take a couple of years for me to get that under control. Yeah, and the bloating and all that.
Okay, so let me see if I can summarize some of what you've just said. When you stopped taking the drug you were on, you found that you had created significant digestive problems as a result, or they showed up afterwards, so it seemed like they were a result of. And you're thinking that you may be one of a small minority of people who shouldn't be taking that drug because you're maybe genetically predisposed to this kind of inflammation and problem, and that you believe that it could take, you're probably still inflamed and could take several years for that to shift. Is that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, so let me address some of those comments. First of all, I would suggest that it's true, absolutely true, that some people are more predisposed to inflammation and reacting in particularly powerful negative ways. But it's negative insofar in terms of how it feels and how it affects us. It's actually a positive insofar as their body is doing everything it can to cleanse and heal. So it's actually a response by the body to try to eliminate the stuff or neutralize its negative impact on you. In terms of being one of a small minority who shouldn't take this stuff, I would suggest that you're one of the great majority who shouldn't take this stuff, because nobody should take this stuff because it's toxic garbage, which only suppresses symptoms. It doesn't create health. It was a crummy way to address the underlying condition you were dealing with. It never works long term to create a healthier body. It always makes the body less healthy. Not everybody reacts the way that you did to it, but it's not so uncommon. So, you know, you're a member of that vast majority of people called humans that shouldn't take this stuff. Humans should avoid taking any drug if they can. There are some cases where someone may need to take something to stay alive temporarily, maybe longer than temporarily, but except for those cases, I can think of no good reason to use drugs. Pharmaceuticals are harmful and dangerous, and they destroy our health. They don't create health, okay? They're suppressing the body's ability to cleanse and heal itself, and this is what leads to the creation of chronic disease. So you take a drug to deal with a symptom, an acute symptom, and you wind up developing chronic disease as a result over time. Is your body still inflamed? Will it be inflamed for several years? I doubt it. I doubt there's much inflammation left. There may be some. A longer fast would have alleviated more of it, but my guess is most of it's gone now. What you've done, 22 days fasting, is a big deal. Something most people never do. We see most inflammation disappear in 21 days of fasting. Maybe not all, but the vast majority. So I would not leave here. Remember, we're creating our reality all the time. What you think often becomes true because it's self-fulfilling prophecy. You believe something to be true, and we wind up creating it as true. Please don't leave here thinking it's going to take yourself 2 or 3 years to deal with the issue. My guess is you've already done most of that work now. All you need to do now is continue to make excellent choices. Making less than excellent choices will eventually recreate the same issue that you started with. Okay, the stuff, the issues that everybody came in here with, you weren't unlucky. It wasn't like you picked the short straw in life. It was that there were lifestyle choices. Okay, if you inherited something, they might have been the lifestyle choices of your parents, grandparents, or great-grandparents, but were affected primarily by what we put in our body and what we do to ourselves. And if you make excellent lifestyle choices and dietary choices from now on, you will continue to manifest excellent results. Will you be completely past the issues here? There's no way to know that right now. We'll only know it later on, okay? But amazing things can shift in 21 or 22 days. And so I think there's a very good chance that you have gotten past this, the vast majority of it already. If not, my advice to you, and this is the same for all of you, if you're dealing with something and you find out it's not completely gone yet, that's entirely possible. There are some things that aren't going to heal in 21 to 30 days of fasting, which is what almost everyone here, 50 in your case, Ferdinand, but the rest of you pretty much 21 to 30 days, most of you. There are some things that may not heal completely, but a lot of things will. And even if you haven't healed completely, you want to understand you've done so much of that gross level work, you've now put your body in a much better situation to continue cleansing and healing on an ongoing